Today I want to talk to you about ethnic studies and how it came to be as a discipline. So the history of ethnic studies was inspired by the civil rights movement. The whole country was involved in demanding changes in all of our social institutions, our government, our educational institutions, housing. Every area of society was in the process of making changes to account for the fact that people of color were not included. So in 1968, American college students invaded the administrative offices and they demanded changes in higher education. While minority students were going to college and were receiving degrees in higher education, the faculty at those institutions were not people of color, as well as the curriculum was not a curriculum that considered everyone who was at that university. So when you think about the United States and how it is a melting pot of all these different groups, all those groups were not initially included in the curriculum. And that's what students were demanding. So this demand was the beginning of a multicultural curriculum, which included everyone. And students demanded changes in the curriculum. They wanted more professors of color to be recruited. They wanted an ethnic studies program to be created. Today, as a result of this, there are more than 700 ethnic studies programs and departments in the United States. So what is ethnic studies? These programs grew out of student and community grassroots movement. Students just like you were concerned about what they were learning, and they wanted to challenge the curriculum and challenge educational institutions to include everyone. And so ethnic studies challenges the prevailing academic power structure and the Eurocentric curriculum that colleges and universities were committed to. And they wanted, these programs now have a comparative focus on groups viewed as minorities in American society, and they consider questions of power through the prism of race, class, and gender. The role of ethnic studies is to provide a liberating educational process that challenges Western imperialism and Eurocentrism. And it gives students a broad perspective to consider all groups and consider everyone. And it recognizes the importance of perspective, because ethnic study believes that perspectives are always partial and situated in relationships to power. And students challenge the relationships of power in how universities were set up and the way the curriculum was designed. So ethnic studies is an approach to knowledge, and it's interdisciplinary. It includes history, it includes race studies, it includes sociology, it includes English, it includes all areas of different curriculums, and it combines to form this area of studies that considers it from everybody's perspective. And ethnic studies focuses on the central role that race and ethnicity plays in the construction of American history, culture, and society. Ethnic studies seeks to recover and reconstruct the histories of those Americans whose stories have been left out and neglected. It seeks to be inclusive. And it identifies and credits their contributions to the making of U.S. society and culture, which it has always and continues to be really left out of the American story. Ethnic studies seeks to chronicle protest and resistance. It establishes alternative values and visions, institutions and cultures to be more inclusive, to include other groups. And it considers the matrix model of race, class, ethnicity, and gender. So ethnic studies is a study of power and its locations around the axis of race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, class, and nation. And again, it arose from the connections made by people of color in the United States with people in the third world and their struggle against colonization and neocolonization. So ethnic study is not multiculturalism, it's not identity politics, it's not intellectual affirmative action, and it's not an act of charity. Again, ethnic studies was gained through contestation. Students reformed. Students demanded reform in educational institutions. And to quote Frederick Douglass, power concedes nothing without demand. It never did, and it never will. And that's what students did. And so ethnic studies is concerned with social structure. Social structure is conceived and cultivated by power and its relations amongst race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, class, nation, and all these intersecting constructions. And so ethnic studies is the discipline that considers all of these things when it studies what's happening in society. So ethnic studies provides a rubric for engagement across created divides of race and ethnicity, gender, sexuality, class, and nation. Thank you.